A very good evening and welcome to the news tonight. Your one stop for the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Delhi High Court questions AAP government's odd-even formula, asks for an evaluation by the 8th of January. Time stands still for another iconic brand. Cabinet gives its nod to shut down India's first wristwatch manufacturing company, HMT. North Korea conducts its first hydrogen bomb tests, much more powerful than an atomic weapon and light enough to fit on a missile. But world leaders condemn the test, call it a provocation. South Korea puts its army on alert. India says it will affect the region's peace and stability. Starting with the capital, nearly a week since the odd-even formula has been in place, the Delhi High Court has questioned the ambitious pollution control plan. It has now asked the Delhi government to evaluate its impact so far and give a reply by the 8th of January. Meanwhile, the centre has decided to implement stricter emission norms from the 1st of April 2020 in a bid to further curb vehicular pollution.
The Delhi High Court has sought an explanation from the state government on why the odd-even formula should continue for more than a week. The court said this while hearing petitions filed by individuals on inconvenience caused to them during the odd-even formula. Now the court has asked the government to file an account by January 8th on the impact of the rule on pollution levels.
दिल्ली सरकार ने 15 दिन के लिए पूरी कार्ययोजना बनाई है और एक प्रभावी एनालिसिस के लिए सारे तथ्यों पर, क्योंकि वेदर का भी मूड अलग अलग चेंज हो रहा है, तो एक सही एनालिसिस के लिए 15 दिन की एक हमें सैंपल चाहिए।
स्कीम में वुमेन ड्राइवर्स को और टू व्हीलर्स को एग्जेम्पशन दी गई हैं। वो जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है स्कीम का, पोल्यूशन लेवल कम किए जाएं, उसको अचीव नहीं करने में सहयोग नहीं दे रही हैं, बल्कि डिफीट कर रही हैं।
गवर्नमेंट को ये शो करना है कि वेदर पोल्यूशन लेवल वाकई ही डाउन हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है। तो 8 तारीख के बाद कोर्ट इंटरिम रिलीफ के ऊपर विचार करेगी कि अगर स्टैटिक्स ऐसे शो करते हैं कि सब्सटेंशियल पोल्यूशन लेवल का फर्क पड़ा है तो बात अलग है, अगर नहीं पड़ा तो कोर्ट फिर उस पर विचार कर सकती है कि इसको फर्दर कंटिन्यू किया जाना चाहिए कि नहीं किया जाना चाहिए।
A bench of Chief Justice G. Rohini and Justice Jayant Nath observed that Delhi does not have sufficient public transport to ferry its people, which was causing inconvenience to a large section of society. The court has also asked the government to submit reports on the number of cabs running on diesel and CNG in the capital region and the level of pollution they emit.
इस ऑड इवन अभियान के दौरान मेट्रो की फ्रीक्वेंसी हमने काफ़ी बढ़ाई है। दिल्ली के अंदर जो बसें हैं उनकी क्षमता काफ़ी बढ़ाई है और वो सुविधा दिल्ली वालों को दे रहे हैं। लोग कारपूल कर रहे हैं अपने बच्चों की ज़िंदगी को बचाने के लिए और पूरी दिल्ली एकजुट होकर के इस पूरे अभियान में सहयोग कर रही है।
The centre also pitched in with new schemes to curb pollution levels. During an interministerial meeting, the government has decided to implement stricter emission norms of Bharat Stage 6 from April 1st, 2020, skipping BS5 altogether. Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said by the end of December, India would go straight from Euro 4 compliant petrol and diesel to Euro 6 fuel by 2020. Bharat Stage emission standards were instituted by the Government of India to regulate the output of air pollutants from internal combustion engine equipment, including motor vehicles. At present, BS4 auto fuels are being supplied in North India, covering J&K, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, parts of Rajasthan and western UP. Rest of the country has BS3 grade fuel. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Union government has given its nod to the closure of HMT Watches Limited, HMT Chinar Watches Limited and HMT Bearings Limited and gave attractive VRS and VSS packages to its employees. The Union Cabinet also gave its approval to the Stand Up India scheme, which aims at promoting entrepreneurship among SC/ST and women entrepreneurs. Here's more from the Cabinet meet.
The Union Cabinet has given its approval for offering attractive VRS and VSS packages at 2007 pay scales to mitigate the hardships being faced by the employees of HMT Watches Limited, HMT Chinar Watches Limited and HMT Bearings Limited. This after it was decided to close down operations. The movable and immovable assets of the companies will be disposed of as per the government policy. The Cabinet also gave its approval to an MOU between Airports Authority of India and Singapore Cooperative Enterprise in civil aviation sector. Agreement between India and Bahrain on cooperation in combating international terrorism and organized crime. 4-laning of the Nagina-Kashipur section of National Highway 74, and creation of a credit guarantee fund for micro units development refinance agency Mudra Loans.
Two different proposals to the cabinet today, both with regard to the establishment of a credit guarantee fund. First credit guarantee fund is being established for the Mudra loans. Second is again a credit guarantee fund which has been set up to support the Stand Up India campaign.
The cabinet also approved the Stand Up India scheme to promote entrepreneurship among SC, ST and women entrepreneurs. The scheme is intended to facilitate at least 2 such projects per bank branch, on an average 1 for each category of entrepreneur. It is expected to benefit at least 2.5 lakh borrowers. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
Now, just a day after military operations in Pathankot were called off, a war of words has erupted between the Congress and the ruling BJP. The opposition party has asked Prime Minister Modi to fix responsibility for the deadly attack, seeking resignations of concerned ministers. But the BJP, in turn, has accused the Congress of politicizing a national security issue.
Even as the combing operations at the Pathankot airbase continue, politics over the attack has begun. Scaling up its offensive against the government, opposition Congress demanded an admission by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the grave security lapse while seeking resignations of those responsible for it.
ये सरकार पूरी फेल हो गई है. इस देश को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए उनके पास कोई यंत्रणा नहीं है. यंत्रणा है लेकिन उसे ठीक तरह से काम नहीं लेना चाहते.
Questioning the government's flip-flop policy on Pakistan, the party also demanded immediate cancellation of the Foreign Secretary level talks scheduled for the 15th of this month.
The Foreign Secretary level talk should be cancelled. What do you want to talk to Pakistan about? You don't want the most favored nation status. You do not want a trade and transit treaty. You do not want anything else from Pakistan. There is only one thing you want, that terror should stop. If terror continues, what are you going to talk to Pakistan about? Oranges?
Leaders of other parties also raised questions over the lapse in security that led to the attack.
Some accountability should be fixed. Who was responsible, whether intelligence inputs were given on time, if at all they were given, whether the security forces acted upon the intelligence inputs, what went wrong, how it could happen, because this is third time it is happening.
हम politically, intelligence wise और diplomatically पाकिस्तान को माकूल जवाब देने में नाकामयाब रहे.
The BJP in turn accused the opposition of doing petty politics over an issue that concerns national security.
कांग्रेस पहले ये तय करना चाहिए कि वो देश के साथ, देश की जनता के साथ और देश के सरकार के साथ आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ने में है या नहीं. वो क्या संदेश देना चाहती है. वो विश्व के ऐसी ताकतों के साथ जो भारत को हराना चाहते हैं उसको क्या संकेत देना चाहती है.
Meanwhile, combing operations are still going on to sanitize the Pathankot airbase that was under siege for 4 days. The focus now has shifted to the probe being conducted by the National Investigation Agency. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Chhattisgarh Pradesh Congress has expelled former Chief Minister Ajit Jogi's son Amit Jogi for 6 years from the primary membership of the party. An audio recording revealed that Amit Jogi was purportedly involved in fixing an assembly by-election held in 2014 in Chhattisgarh. The telephone conversations in the tape, allegedly between Chief Minister Raman Singh's son-in-law Puneet Gupta, Ajit Jogi, Firoz Siddiqui and Amin Memon, revolved around the rigging of the Antgarh assembly seat by-poll in 2014, which facilitated the BJP's victory. The Chhattisgarh Pradesh Congress Committee has requested the AICC to suspend Ajit Jogi as well.
प्राकृतिक न्याय का उल्लंघन हुआ है. बिना आरोपों की जांच किए, उनकी पुष्टि किए, उनको प्रमाणित किए ही मुझको निष्कासित करने का निर्णय अविवेकपूर्ण है, अन्यायपूर्ण है और पक्षपातपूर्ण है। मैं इस प्रकार के सामंतवादी निर्णय से डरने वाला नहीं हूं।
Chhattisgarh tapes evidenced that a candidate of the Congress party was made to withdraw his candidature by offering him allurement of money at the instance of Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Dr. Raman Singh. Congress party has taken action against one of its members. Modi ji used to say, "मैं ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा," and will have zero tolerance for corruption. Will he now show the courage of his conviction by taking resignation of Dr. Raman Singh?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है। ये शुद्ध रूप से कांग्रेस का आंतरिक मामला था। कांग्रेस किसको निकाले, किसको बाहर करे, किसको अंदर करे, ये कांग्रेस का ही निर्णय है।
And in more news from the capital now, in a major decision, the Delhi government today scrapped management and all other quotas in private schools for nursery admissions. Quotas for the economically weaker sections will continue though, and that is 25% of seats set aside for children from economically poorer sections. The decision was taken at a meeting of the state cabinet. Announcing the decision, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal called the management quota a breeding ground for the biggest scandal in the education sector. He added that the government will approach the court if school managements object. Private schools in Delhi have quotas for management, siblings, alumni and many others.
दिल्ली के अंदर शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में एडमिशन प्रोसेस को ट्रांसपेरेंट करने के लिए और प्रो पीपल करने के लिए ये आज बहुत बड़ा कदम उठाया जा रहा है और ये जो माफिया जिसका कब्जा बुरी तरह से शिक्षा के ऊपर हो गया है, शिक्षा को इन्होंने दुकानें बना ली है, इसको सरकार खत्म करेगी।
And now let's take you through what else made news across the country and nationwide. The Allahabad High Court has directed that a writ petition questioning the appointment of Uttar Pradesh DGP Javed Ahmed be put up before a bench related to service matter cases on Thursday. The petition by activist Nutan Thakur alleged that Ahmed was appointed superseding 13 IPS officers from the UP cadre. The petitioner sought a direction for Ahmed's removal, claiming that the step was not in line with an earlier Supreme Court ruling. The Guwahati High Court has suspended the disqualification of 14 dissident Congress MLAs in Arunachal Pradesh. Speaker Nabam Revia had on the 15th of December last year disqualified 14 MLAs from the membership of the House. These MLAs then filed a writ petition in the High Court. The matter is posted for the next hearing on Thursday. An Air India plane carrying 95 passengers suffered a tire burst after landing at the Bhopal airport today. All the passengers, however, were deplaned safely after landing in Bhopal. The flight was scheduled to leave for Delhi, but following the accident, the flight was delayed. With a quick break here, up next, we'll be getting all the international news.
Politicians heading sporting bodies. A long-standing debate. Justice Lodha panel suggests keeping them out of BCCI. Should this bar prevail? Watch the big picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life, the program that brings you face to face with country's top politicians.
You know, I've been flying for a very long time. It's a passion of mine.
You miss the Western outfits, absolutely, I do.
I have always been telling her, wear Punjabi suit.
You can't be a successful MP without your wife.
I can't be successful anything without my wife.
मैं तो चला जिधर चले रास्ता.
My wife, Dr. Prachi, was also prisoner in the other prison.
अगर मैं बोलूं मिठाई, कराची हलवा, comedian, जाने वाकर. Join a journey to know your leaders better on It's My Life, only on Rajya Sabha television.
arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. Let's get you the top international story now. And strong reactions continue to pour in from world powers against what North Korea is claiming a gigantic step in its nuclear program. On Wednesday, Pyongyang successfully carried out an underground hydrogen bomb test, providing it a significant weapon against the US and other world powers. But it could be days or even weeks before independent tests can verify Pyongyang's claims.
A defiant and surprising move by North Korea. Pyongyang conducting a successful underground hydrogen bomb test. A major step up from Pyongyang's previous test, this elevates the country's nuclear might to the next level, setting off alarms across the world.
제105 2016년 1월 6일 10시 주체조선의 첫 수소탄 시험이 성공적으로.
The statement claims that North Korea had tested a miniaturized hydrogen bomb much more powerful and threatening than an atomic weapon and light enough to fit on a missile. North Korea defended its actions, saying it would continue to strengthen its nuclear capabilities to protect itself against the hostile policies of the United States. The test followed a detection of 5.1 magnitude earthquake near its known nuclear test site.
국의 극악무도한 대조선 적대시 정책이 건절되지 않는 한 우리의 핵 개발 중단이나 핵 포기는 하늘이 무너져도 절대로 있을 수 없다.
The claims that are yet to be confirmed by international experts have been swiftly criticized by world leaders. Soon after the announcement, South Korea put its military on alert, calling the test a grave provocation to the national security. President Park Geun-hye promised a stern response to North's actions.
이제 정부는 국제사회와 긴밀한 협력하에 북한이 이번 핵실험에 대해 반드시 상응하는 대가를 치르도록 해야 합니다.
US efforts to curtail North Korea's nuclear ambitions have made little headway in the past. But the United States stood in solidarity with its regional ally Japan in the face of Pyongyang's challenge. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said his nation will not tolerate Pyongyang's threat and violations of the UNSC resolutions.
重大な脅威であり、断じて容認できません。強く非難します。
We stand with Japan and our partners and allies in solidarity in the face of North Korean provocations, and we will work closely together with you in the coming days.
North Korea's main ally China too firmly opposed the test, saying it was carried out irrespective of the international community's opposition.
维护半岛及东北亚和平稳定符合有关各方共同利益，中方将坚定推进半岛无核化目标，坚持通过六方会谈框架实现解决半岛核问题。
Experts are skeptical that the North can produce such an advanced nuclear weapon, even as Japan sent out planes to check the radiation levels caused by the bomb. The nuclear test is the fourth by Pyongyang, which is already under US and UN sanctions for its nuclear and missile programs. The United Nations Security Council will be holding a meeting of its members to decide on the future course of action. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And reacting within hours of that test, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs called it a matter of great concern. While a fourth nuclear test had been long expected, the claim that it was a hydrogen device came as a surprise. Spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, Vikas Swarup, stated that it was a matter of deep concern and that the DPRK has again acted in violation of its international commitments in this regard. Former Chief of ISRO, K. Kasturirangan, also said that if reports of the nuclear tests were true, then DPRK had reached a very high level of weapon system.
It is a matter of deep concern that DPRK has again acted in violation of its international commitments in this regard. We call upon DPRK to refrain from such actions which adversely impact on peace and stability in the region.
It shows that they have reached a very high level of a weapon system which uses the nuclear fusion and not the nuclear fission.
In other news, Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli will travel to New Delhi early next month on his first official foreign visit. The announcement was made by Deputy Prime Minister Kamal Thapa, who scotched speculation about Oli visiting China first. There were some media reports that said that the new law in relations between India and Nepal meant that Oli would first visit China, in a marked contrast to the usual practice of new prime ministers travelling to India. The crucial visit is expected to take place in the first week of February. A number of agreements are likely to be signed despite the hiccups in ties over the Madhesi issue. Saudi Arabia signalled on Tuesday that its breach in relations with Iran would not affect talks on Syria, with the next round scheduled in Geneva this month. Riyadh and Tehran have attended previous talks and support opposing sides of the war. There are, of course, concerns that the rift between them could set back diplomatic efforts to bring peace to the country. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and Sudan all broke ties with Iran, and the UAE downgraded its relations on Monday after the Saudi embassy in Tehran was stormed by protesters. Kuwait recalled its ambassador to Iran on Tuesday. Restating the kingdom's position on Syria, Saudi Foreign Minister Adil Al-Jubeir said that Riyadh sought a solution based on the Geneva I communique. He also reiterated that President Bashar al-Assad will have no role in Syria's future. The UN has set a target date of 25th of January for the Syria peace talks.
في الوصول إلى حل سلمي للأزمة السورية، وأكدت على معالي موقف المملكة العربية السعودية من هذا الشأن، وتطلعنا لإيجاد حل لهذه الأزمة مبني على مبادئ جنيف واحد وسلطة انتقالية مؤقتة ووضع دستور جديد وانتخابات، وأن لا يكون لبشار الأسد أي دور في مستقبل سوريا.
His visits, the special envoy will assess the implications of the recent developments between Saudi Arabia and Iran on the momentum of the Vienna process for Syria. Mr. de Mistura believes that the crisis in Saudi-Iranian relations is very worrisome development, and he stresses the need to ensure that it does not cause a chain of adverse consequences in the region.
And now let's get you some more international news updates in Global Buzz. Bangladesh's highest court has upheld the death sentence for Matiur Rahman Nizami, who is currently the head of the Islamist party Jamaat-e-Islami. He was appealing against last year's conviction for war crimes committed during the 1971 war against Pakistan. The 72-year-old was convicted on charges including genocide, murder, torture and rape. He is expected to be executed in the coming months. Leading U.S. Republicans have denounced President Barack Obama's move to tighten gun controls. The House of Representatives Speaker Paul Ryan said that the orders undermine liberty and would be challenged in court. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has said that if elected, he would reverse the measures. In an emotional address on Tuesday, Obama accused the gun lobby of holding the country hostage. He had previously stated that the failure to tackle gun control had been the greatest frustration of his presidency. All of the chemical weapons declared by the Syrian regime have been destroyed, according to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. A deal to remove chemical weapons from the war-torn nation was struck in 2013 after Washington eventually agreed to a Russian proposal to remove and destroy the chemical weapons in Syria. British Prime Minister David Cameron told lawmakers that he was confident he could reach a reform deal with the European Union. And he said that the government ministers would be allowed to campaign to leave the European Union at a referendum due by the end of 2017. The European Council will hold a leaders' summit on the 18th and 19th of February, where Cameron hopes that he can finally seal an agreement. And now it's time to get you some stories from the world of sports in SportsBeat. The Indo-Spanish pair of Leander Paes and Marcel Granollers reached the second round of the Chennai Open with a straight sets victory in the opening round. The pair defeated Taro Daniel and John Millman 6-2, 6-3. However, in the men's singles, Somdev Devvarman crashed out of the first round after losing 3-6, 6-3, 3-6 to Russian wildcard Andrei Rublev. South African batsman Themba Bavuma became the first coloured player to score a ton for the Proteas. The hosts continue to frustrate the English bowlers, with captain Hashim Amla scoring 201 and Bavuma on an unbeaten 102 as South Africa declared on 627 for 7 in their first innings. England was 16 for no loss at the end of day 4, leading by just 18 runs. Zinedine Zidane made his debut on the training pitch as Real Madrid's new coach on Tuesday amid cheers from fans. Zidane's appointment as Real Madrid coach in place of Rafa Benitez has handled the club's former French great his chance to follow up a stellar career on the pitch with management success at the highest level. Jordan Ibe's goal gave Liverpool a slender advantage as they beat Stoke City in the first leg of the semi-final of Capital One Cup. Ibe, who came as a substitute for Philippe Coutinho, struck at the far post in the 37th minute to give the Reds a 1-0 victory. The second leg will be played at Anfield. Well, that's it from us in News Tonight, but we leave you with images now from the 2016 Harbin International Ice and Snow Festival, which kicked off in northeast China on Tuesday.